Did you know that that was a game being played, or were you just like...
I didn't understand it was psychological warfare at the time. It became like day 2 or 3, I'm like, what are we waiting on? And then I finally asked one of the ladies at the front, and I said, listen, I need to have a word with Lito and decide what's going on. And Lito was gone that day or something, right? He was doing whatever he was doing business-wise with the company. It was a day or two, and then that final day on that Friday of that week, he came to me and he said, you need to fly home and resign from the franchise owner and then come back to work as a corporate employee.
He liked you. He saw something in you that he was willing to take a risk personally.
That has come into light even more so now after his passing, and Jonathan asked me to be a pallbearer at his father's funeral. And Lito and I reconnected recently. I'd run into Jonathan in Vegas at the PDR Expo. And I said, Jonathan, I'd really like to see your dad. And he said, I'm sure my dad would see you. I said, can you arrange he and I getting in contact? And so Lito and I started texting back and forth. And I said, Lito, I'm going to come to Miami. I'm going to take you out for lunch. And so I flew down. I worked it into the schedule, flew down to Miami, took Lito out to lunch. And we sat and chewed the fat for about 4 hours at lunch. And it was absolutely incredible. And it was then that I realized, looking back, some way, somehow, he saw something in me as a 20-year-old that I didn't see or know existed in myself. And I'm the same age as his daughter, Nancy. And so I think from a parental standpoint, Lito was kind of viewing me at that same age as his oldest child. And that is just one of those things you figure out in hindsight, right? And in he and I rekindling and then seeing each other at MTE every year and then spending time and talking with Jonathan, right? And then, of course, unfortunately, his passing. But as I look back, I realized, and now as a father myself, you have those aha moments with your children and you try to ask those leading questions and you try to get them to follow and begin thinking for themselves. And you want to give them a berth, right, so that they can make their mistakes and not get hurt too badly. But that's what Lito did for me in our industry. But I think looking at it that way, that's why it played out the way it did for those few days on the couch and then resigning and coming back to work directly for Dent Wizard International Corporation as the corporate, not the franchise.